Hi, this is Rich with Richbound Photography, Sacramento, California, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Rich Baum's Tips and Tricks for Real Estate Photography, where we try and shoot smarter, better, learn some tips and tricks that we can use on various shoots. And this is really, a lot of people think that shooting a house is really easy. Well, we all know that are on this channel, obviously, that it's not as easy as we would like to think so. And a lot of these things just come from doing it over and over and over. When you've done one or two, three, 4,000 homes, you learn a few things. So that's why I'm here to help you guys to learn it. So I wanted to do an episode today on I just shot a house today, and it's raining here in California. So it was that kind of a scenario where it's kind of dark and I have lights, but I just found that let the ambient do the heavy lifting for some of my entry shots, which are really big areas, long, and you'll see. But I said, hey, what a great tutorial. So I'm going to just use the same shots from a shoot that I did today, which is kind of nice because you'll put it all together and you can hopefully relate to a shoot that you've had that's similar to this. And I'm going to throw in one little thing where I can show you how to work with glare on wooden cabinets using flash. Wooden cabinets sometimes have really bad time reflecting light on the wood. So I'm going to show you how I can just let the ambient do the heavy lifting to eliminate those problem things. So let's sit back and check out this video. And I want to just ask all of you that haven't subscribed to please do so. Subscribe to the Rich Baum Tips and Tricks for Real Estate Photography channel. That's a mouthful. And check out our podcast, Shooting Spaces podcast. We have a blog also. I'm doing coaching now. I'm doing a workshop in May, the 13th and 14th of May in California for 10 lucky people. Well, I'm the lucky one because I get to teach you what I know. And come hang out with me. And as always, please use that Adorama link in the show notes because they help me make these free tutorials. So sit back and check it out and leave your comments at the end because I do answer them, and I will help you with a problem you've been having and help you shoot better, smarter, and enjoy your day longer. So sit back and we'll go right into Lightroom. Okay, so we're in Lightroom now, and I'm just going to go through a few images I have of a house I shot just this morning. So right here we have a scenario which a lot of people will be familiar with, where we have a big foyer coming in here, and we have a big open area in there, and we've got to get light in, and we got to deal with some issues, where this is the ambient shot straight out of camera. And this is I'm using my Sony a6000, a little crop sensor camera. So when people say you need a full frame, well, I tell you differently. You can get a full frame, and I have full frames, but I also use my a6000 religiously for just day-to-day real estate shoots because I like it. And I have my Samyang 12mm lens on here. And so I know I'm shooting ISO 320. And we always want to bring up our ISO to 320 or 400 so it will let our lights have effectively more power. So don't be shooting at 100 ISO. You're not going to notice the noise at 320, and it's going to give you more power with your flashes. So you're going to enjoy your life a lot more. And I am at f7.1, which on this crop sensor, everything should be in focus from 3 feet to infinity. And I even taped down my focus just shy of infinity. So I never have to worry about focusing. It's not autofocus. It's just everything's in focus. Okay, and this is at, let's see, 1/6 of a second. So I'm going to never change the settings. It's going to be 320 and f7.1, but I will be changing my shutter speed throughout this tutorial. So this is the ambient shot, and this is straight out of camera, and this is what I'm looking for in ambient shot. I want it to be have enough luminosity or light to light the areas I need, and this looks pretty good, but I would certainly not deliver an image like this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do 2 flash shots. I'm going to do one for this area right here. So this is my flash shot right here, and it's a little bit bright and flashy, so I wouldn't deliver that, but together with the ambient shot and the flash shot, and then I'm going to do another flash shot where this shot right here and then we're at 1/25th of a second. And it's a very dark day. It's a rainy day in California. We're getting like 12 inches of rain in the next day. So it's raining here. And so I put a flash. I had my Streak Light 360, and I actually am holding it up to the second story on a 7-foot stand. So I'm extending it with my arm, and I'm just letting it flash. And I don't know the power, but somewhere in the nature of half power for my 360. So I've got the front area illuminated or lit. I'm going to do some work on it, but you can see I've got that done. And now I'm going to do the back room. All I did, and I only used one light because I actually didn't bring another light. So I only had my 360 and a speed light. So I went back here, and I just went to the side. I think I'm over behind this wall, and I lifted my flash up to the second story and lit this room here. So I have those 3 shots. So let's start with making the ambient. Let's take the flash shot. This is my main flash shot, and I'm just going to do my full bump for my A6000, okay? And now I'm going to bring down the exposure to right about there. So I'm happy with this flash exposure. I've got my light exposed properly. Whoops, my light exposed properly. There, I've got the stairs nice and sharp. Now I've got no light in here and no light in here. So let's go to the next flash shot right here. And I'm just going to go give it the full bump again. A6000, and I'm just going to bring down the exposure back there. So I've got that piece to the puzzle. I've got this piece to the puzzle. And now I've got the center area I need fixed. So let's take this ambient shot here, and let's first do what I do is the Ambient Yellow Out. And this is a preset I have, and I'm going to show it to you right here. And if you worst case scenario, if you can't figure out presets, you can always get it on our blog, shootingspaces.net, and you can buy it, but it's also free on my YouTube channel. So here, let's look at this, and that ambient shot, which gets you can do a snapshot of this here, and that's my ambient out, and I lower the orange and the yellow and the blue. So now I need it to go a little bit closer to make it the color I want. So I'm just going to bring it down a little bit. I'm going to loosen up and let go of a little bit of the orange and bring it to blue. So now I'm going to highlight all 3 of my images. So that's all I did to the ambient shot. I'm actually going to raise up the exposure just a little bit. Okay, so I've got the flash shot here, and I've got the flash shot here, and I've got this center area. And the only thing I'm going to do here is I like it here, but I'm just going to bring a little local area adjustment brush in Lightroom right there, and I'm going to bring up the exposure just a little bit. And I've got the flow down about 50% or so. And I'm just going to bring in a little exposure into here. So the whole concept here is prepping your ambient shot to work with your flash shot here and the flash shot there. And that's it. And actually, this doesn't take very long at all. It took me about a minute to shoot, and it's going to take me about a minute to edit, but for this tutorial, it will take a little longer. So I'm right now going to right-click it, all 3 images, open as layers in Photoshop. And while this is opening, I just want to remind you, please, I want you to subscribe to the Rich Baum YouTube Tips and Tricks channel, because I want you to be part of this. And it seems like I'm helping people, so I want to help you. Anyway, send me your comments, and I'm always there for you, okay? Okay, let's see now. Okay, I'm just going to highlight all 3 images, and I'm going to go up into Edit, and I'm going to go Auto Align Layers, because we are masking our layers, and I'm just in Auto. We're masking our layers, so everything has to line up. And whereas I do have a very heavy tripod, Manfrotto 3046, it's old and heavy, but man, it is a lifesaver because it doesn't move much. And as you can see, I had very little, look at over here. This border right here, you can see it right there. Let me zoom in. This little bit of a checkered border, you can't really see it much because I didn't have much movement here, but that shows you I had a little teeny bit of misalignment. And if you have any misalignment, what's going to happen is you're going to get ghosting, so we don't want that. Okay, so now let's just go over each layer. Okay, I'm going to turn off these layers. The top layer is the ambient layer, so I'm just going to show you, for you guys learning this, when you start getting into masking a lot of layers, I suggest you name your layers. So ambient, AMB, is what I name my ambient. I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to do my flash. And then the last one I know is going to be my flash 2 for the back room, so I'm just going to name it flash 2. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to turn that off. I'm going to drag up my flash 2 shot. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to drag it up. I'm going to deal with my flash shots first. I'm going to take both flash shots. I'm going to now make a layer mask on the flash. This is a little different than I normally do because I'm having 2 areas of flash. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to highlight that. And I'm not going to highlight that. I'm going to highlight the top one. I'm now going to make a flash layer there. And I'm going to bring in flash. I'm going to make sure my color over here, my layer is white. I'm going to hit X and turn it to white, which the color in paintbrush is going to be reveal, or painting in the layer below it, which is going to be this flash layer. So I've got that there. I want to make sure I'm 0 hardness. I'm on 2%, 0 hardness. And there I'm going to be on 9% flow. So I'm just going to bring in the flash shot right here. So I'm prepping both my flash shots to be one shot. Okay? So I'm bringing that in. There we go. Okay. So got that layer back there. That's the back flash shot, and this is the front flash shot. They're 2 separate frames, as you saw. And they're one light here, and then I went and put this light back here. So I'm doing kind of light painting or separate shots. I don't do that a lot, so I hope you can follow me on this one. Okay, so now I'm going to turn on my ambient layer, and I'm just going to highlight the ambient layer, and I'm just now going to make a layer mask. I'm going to hold down Option on a Mac, Alt on a PC, and add a layer mask. So now let's just bring in the ambience right in here. There we go. That's ambient coming in there. And you can see how well that works. A little bit orange, but I'm not worried about it. I'm bringing a little bit of orange in here, and in here, and in here, and that's about it. There we go. Now let's turn off this ambient and look. And the ambient did the heavy lifting in there. So I'm happy with this. So I'm just going to close it, and I'm going to go to the next image. Okay. I hope you followed along. Little change up than I normally do just the ambient and the flash, but we'll see here. Okay, now, and let's go here to the next shot. Okay, I have the ambient shot here, and I have another big room right here, and I've got my back room here. So the ambient shot's here, and the straight out of camera, flash shot's here, and this is straight out of camera. And that's all I'm going to use to light this whole area, okay? Now, I'm not worried about a view in the background because it's a cloudy, rainy day. Excuse me, I'm going to have a little sip of soda. Apple juice and lemonade. And it works to be a perfect combination. Anyway, let me get back to business. So, let's turn our flash shot into magic. So, let's do the full bump there. And as you can see, let's go to take out that local area adjustment. I'm on my basic adjustments, and I've got the A6000 full bump, and I'm just going to now look at my histogram. I don't always say, worry about your histogram, but here I'm just going to lower my exposure down to what I think my screen looks like, and it's showing the histogram to be a little bit high here. Normally you want this to be down in the middle, but if I moved it down in the middle, right about there, I think it's a little too dark. So I know from experience, I've got a calibrated monitor, and I'm pretty happy with, I can really avoid going by the histogram and go by just looking at what I shoot. Okay, so we have a flash shot here, and actually this is, this is one flash. I put the flash up again. I held it up to the second floor ceiling from the ground. I'm probably camera right. And I'm just raising it up there, bouncing off the ceiling with the Streaklight 360, and I'm at 1/40th of a second, and I'm still at f7.1, ISO 320, and that's enough to light this bad boy up with the Streaklight 360. Is one of my favorite lights People are always asking me. I love the 200 now, the Evolve 200 or the AD 200, but I really like the Streetlight 360. It will always probably be my favorite. So we have the flash shot prepared as we want it, or I call it massaged, but we need a little exposure back here. We need a little exposure up here, little exposure here, and I want to cut out some of this flashiness. So let's go look at our ambient shot, and let's first start by taking the ambient yellow out. And again, look what it did. There's take a screenshot of that, take a picture, it will last longer, as they say, and then take out a little bit of orange and yellow and blue. But then now what I want to do is I'm going to go a little bit further. I'm just going to take my eyedropper tool, my white balance eyedropper tool in Lightroom, and I'm going to bring this over here to this couch. I think this couch is gray, and I'm just going to click gray. Let's see what it does. It didn't do anything, so I'm going to try it over here on this white. I want to get it, there we go. Now it's a little bit blue, so I'm going to take out a little more of the blue, but I'm now going to bring in just a teeny bit of exposure and a little bit of warmth. There we go. So I'm going to highlight both my ambient shot and my flash shot, and let's look at the flash shot, and then let's look at the ambient. Flash, ambient. A little bit green. Let me see if I move this over here. Just touch that, and a little bit more warmth, just a tiny bit. I think that's going to be good. So I'm going back and forth, and I'm examining my ambient shot to see, or my flash shot, to see if my ambient shot's going to work, okay? I think that'll work great. I got good exposure here. I think I'm actually going to now do a little more prep. I'm going to take my gradient tool and give it a little more exposure, and it's going to run a gradient tool this way. Okay, and I'm going to take out a little bit of saturation. There we go, and move up the exposure just a little bit. All I'm doing is prepping my ambient shot to match my flash shot. Okay, so I'm going to turn off that gradient tool, and let's look at it again. And there we go. Okay, so I prepped it, and actually this would take me about 30 seconds to do. Trust me, when you get good at it, doing it 1,000 times, it is so easy to do, and it really makes your life faster and easier. So this is all about letting the ambient do the heavy lifting, and the whole key is getting the right shots and then massaging, changing those shots, editing those shots to match where you need it. And a lot of this is going to come from doing it over and over. So I've highlighted both layers, and I'm going up into Edit, Auto Align Layers. Okay. There you go. Okay, come on. Okay, there we go. Now I'm highlighting my flash shots up, my ambient shots on top. I'm highlighting the layer, and I'm adding a layer mask by holding down Option on a Mac, Alt on a PC, and adding a layer mask. Okay, now we see the flash layer, and I'm at white for reveal. I'm at paintbrush. I know I'm in 9% flow on the soft brush. So let's just start dealing with the issues at first. Let's get up here. There we go. Just nice 9% flow is just a little bit, giving a little ambient in the mirror, little ambient here. Now let's go into here, and I might go overboard and come back a bit, but let's just see if I can do this right here. Little exposure back there. Now this is very different than if it was a sunny day, but we're not going to worry about it because it's a rainy day, okay? I have a little flash reflection in there, so I could probably bring an ambient in there and just, I could actually overexpose that awning out there. Not crazy about it, but I'm going to let it slide because that's not what I'm focusing on today, okay? Let me go back here, a little bit of ambient in here. There we go. Ambient in here. Let's see under the table, a little bit of ambient. See those shadows coming in? I'm getting shadows from the ambient, so I'm actually going to lose that. So I'm just going to turn this into black by hitting my X key. I'm just going to bring a smaller paintbrush, and I'm going to now paint back some flash because the flash actually looked better than the ambient there. Let's see my before. There we go. And let's go step backwards. There we go. Oops. Redo state change. One more time. Redo, step forward. More time, step forward. Oops. I'm actually, I'm going to have to redo this again because I don't know what I did. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to bring back the ambient, the flash layer in here again. So apologize for that little snafu I just did. Sometimes I even get mixed up, guys. It's, you know what? It is difficult at best sometimes. And as we all know, I'm going to add a little more ambient in here, right there. Okay, so I don't want to spend too much time there. I'm happy with this, and I'm actually going to bring it back into Lightroom to show you what I'm going to do with it. So try and stay with me. I know a lot of this is confusing. Okay, I'm doing the final bump, which is a preset, and you can look at it right here. No magic. You don't have to pay for presets, but you can go to the shooting spaces and buy the presets, because I had a lot of people almost forcing me to sell them to them because they just couldn't figure it out. And I finally made them for sale. So anyway, look at here, final bump, 1, 2, 3. Look at the right hand right here, what happens, 1, 2, 3, final bump. And that's all the final bump is right here. So you can take a screenshot and save that right there. And it's just adding a little bit of contrast. I'm taking down the blacks, adding a little whites. And actually, you may want to add a little bit here because it's a dull day, a little bit of dehaze here. And I'm very happy with this. I'm fine. I would check for me, I'm going to actually edit out this wall right here. So I don't like the chord, and I don't need to see so much of the third wall. It's that 2-wall, 3-wall conversation. Do we want to see 3 walls or 2 walls? Well, it's appropriate for me sometimes to show 3 walls and not appropriate other times. Anyway, there I go. Okay, let's go to the next one. We have a third one right here. So let's go to the ambient shot here. And this is the reverse of this shot. So we just did this shot. Now we're going to go behind these pillars and do the reverse. It's kind of a funky composition, but I'm okay with it. So here's the ambient shot, straight out of camera. It's 1/5 of a second. And, oh, by the way, let's go back to the flash shot. Flash shot here, flash shot here was 1/40 of a second. So I had a 1/40 of a second, killed the ambient, and was allowed me to get good true colors here. So I'm pretty happy with the colors. These are not white walls. They're like gray walls. So I'm pretty happy with it. And I didn't really let the ambient, and again, here's the ambient straight out of camera. So we can take that and then make it that, okay? Just by prepping it. Okay, or massaging it as I call it. So let's go back into this flash shot. I have, let me see, I have 2 flash shots, and I ended up using this one. And basically all I'm doing here is I'm to the side, as you can see right here, I have all this room over here, and I have all this room over here behind this wall to stand and hold a flash up underneath the camera level here, and I'm just bouncing off the ceiling right here. So my stand is actually going up here and illuminating this area, okay? But I have ambient shot in case I need to get a little ambient here. So here's my flash shot, and again, that's a 1/40 of a second, and I'm going to choose this one. So I'm now going to go and add my full bump, okay? Now, let's see. I'm going to bring down the exposure here. I'm looking at this here, and it's a little overexposed, so I'm just going to bring it down to about here. Okay, so I've got good exposure here and here. I need help on these pillars. I need help back here. I need help back here. I need help up here. I need help mentally because I'm crazy, but I need a little help in here. So now let's go this is fine. I've prepped. I might bring up the exposure just a touch. Okay, there we go. It looks kind of flashy and lit from the wrong, well, it's kind of lit from the right direction because I'm right behind my back is windows, but I'm not going to deliver this shot, but I'm going to take my ambient shot now, and let's go and do the ambient yellow out. And again, you can see what it does over here, but I still have a problem. So let's see if we can't use the white balance eyedropper tool. Again, presets just get you in the ballpark. They don't get you exactly where you want to be. So never expect a preset to be exactly what you want. It just saves a little time. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to try this pillow here because this couch should be gray. And we always like to use neutral gray for our target for white balance. Not doing it enough. So let's go here and let's go on the white here. There we go. And there we go. Oh boy, that really helped. Taking out a lot of the orange, but we are going to use the majority here. I'm actually going to raise this up just a little bit again, a little more bright. But we've got now, I'm going to highlight both of these images that I'm going to use, and I'm going to go back and look at the ambient. So look back at the individual areas. So I think I can use it there. It's a little orange, but I'm okay with it. Now here, back here, it's fine. Up here, I couldn't use this as the flash shot, but I can mask in some ambient and bringing it to these pillars. I think it will work fine, especially because I've already done it and I think I know. So I want to do one thing here. I'm going to add a little more orange, just a teeny little bit of warmth. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to bring this down to right about here and let's go. I'm going to right click, edit in, open as layers in Photoshop. Another sip of soda. So today was one of those rainy days, and we didn't have a cancellation. And my rule is, on rainy days, at least in California, and this is only in where I live in Sacramento, California, I find I like to take an optimistic view. I don't tend to be an optimist in my life. I seem to be a practical guy. But I can always see the things that are going to fail. But I think as far as weather, I always think it's going to be better because literally 80% of the time, it doesn't hurt to shoot in an overcast day like today. But agents get a little scared. So my agents know that 80% of the time it's going to actually be fine. And before we go, I might show you, I did a little sky replacement, and I'll just show you why you should try and, at least do it for free, or if you can, upsell your agents to get a blue sky, because it's really worth it. Okay, so I'm going to highlight both images. I'm now going to go up into Edit. I'm going to auto align layers. And by the way, all these things I have key commands, or I can do them with my mouse. A lot of people send to me, why do you go up there and do that? Why don't you make a preset or a keystroke on your mouse or your keyboard? I do, but you guys wouldn't be able to follow along, so I'm just doing a caveat. And again, this would be better if you put a light up here, a light behind this wall here, a light behind this wall in the kitchen, a light behind that wall on the right, a light back here, and a light in this main room. But sometimes we got to let the ambient do the heavy lifting, or at least I do, because I think that when you're flashing the foreground, it's going to really sell the good crisp colors of the flash, and the ambient's just going to help you make your day. Okay, so let's now highlight just the ambient layer, and I'm going to pull down, add a layer mask, and I'm going to hold down Option on a Mac, Alt on a PC, as I do thousands of times for you guys. Okay, so I'm on white, I'm on paintbrush, I'm on 9% flow. Let's just start up here and give a little bit of ambient in there really quick. I'm going to do this real quick to show you how fast and easy it is. There we go. And back in there. There we go. There we go. Get rid of some of that flashiness right there. Okay, bringing in ambient into there. I didn't get a super lot in that doorway, but that's okay. I don't really need it that much because you know what? I want to get this whole thing done. My editing for this was 35 minutes. I delivered 22 interior shots and 10 exterior shots, and that's not including the sky replacement. But I think it was 30 or 35 minutes I edited this whole house, so it can be done quickly. Anyway, there you go. I'm just going to close this out because I don't really need this to save it. I've already edited this whole shoot, and it's now it's 3:32 in the afternoon, so getting out of video out of the way. Okay, now let's switch gears a little bit. Oh, actually, no. We're going to let the ambient do the heavy lifting. We'll do this really quick. Here is a flash shot right there, and I have a flash. To my left is a speed light. To my right is a 360. It's a little flashy. Let's just do our full bump. I'm sorry, full bump for the A6000. A little bit of difference. I have a little bit of chromatic aberration issues with my A6000, so it's a little different than my A7 III. So I've got that there. I don't have to worry about there because I've got the flash shot edited, or I'm massaging it, okay? And here I just want to go, and I'm going to do Ambient Yellow Out, and I'm going to do a little more. I'm just going to try and do white balance. And let's just do this crown molding down here, or this baseboard here. Okay, I'm a little bit purple now, but I'm going to bring it back here, and I'm good to go. So right here, the only thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my local area brush, turn down my saturation, turn down my exposure just a teeny little bit, like a third of a stop. And I'm just going to take out a little bit of that orange. And there we go. Okay, and everything looks good. So now let's just highlight both of these. I'm just going to now right-click, edit in, open as layers in Photoshop. And again, everybody, I'm just going to let you know that please subscribe to the Rich Baum YouTube channel, and I appreciate it. And leave your comments. I answer all of them. I've been getting a lot of comments lately, and I really appreciate the nice words I get from people. Okay. How's that for crunching ice? Okay, here we go. I'm not even going to auto-align layers because I'm just going to go really quickly through this and get out of this video. Okay, here we go. There's a flash shot. I'm just bringing in ambient. Let the ambient do the heavy lifting. Down here, a little bit of ambient. A little bit of ambient there. Bam. A little bit of ambient there. Okay. And this is kind of weird. I'm getting ambient light is actually giving me reflections or shadow from those chairs. So I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to hit X, and I'm just going to take a little bit of that out. There we go. Okay, and I will deliver that, and I'm fine with that. So let's go back to the next one. My next image is going to be a little bit different. This is going to be let the ambient do the magic work. Okay, so I have a flash shot here, and this is something we all deal with. And the darker the wood, the more we have flash shine reflections. Okay, now I could do two things. I could just use this, and I could then move the flash over to my left and have a reflection there and just mask out one of the two reflections. Or I can now, I'm going to prep this one, full bump, okay, and I'm going to go into my basic adjustments. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit, and now, it's a little orange, a little flashy, but that's okay because I'm going to use ambient here. And what I'm going to do is let the ambient, here's the ambient shot, straight out of camera. And it's a little orange, but you notice it's going to take away, I'm going to use it for this part right here. Okay? So now, let's just do one thing. I'm going to get the ambient out, ambient orange out, or I might get the yellow out. And I'm actually going to turn this and make this a little bit cooler. There we go, and I'm going to compare it to my flash shot. Let's go flash shot. Beautiful. So now all I'm going to do is I did a shortcut. I'm just doing my regular, setting it as layers into Photoshop, but you couldn't see it because I used my Logitech mouse. I have programmed my scroll wheel, so if I tilt my scroll wheel to the right, it sends my layers into Photoshop. And if I do it to the left, it auto-aligns my images. So that's why you want to do those. And I should do a tutorial sometime on that. Okay, so I'm not even going to auto-align these. So here's the ambient layer. I'm just going to make a layer mask. And I'm just going to make sure I'm on white for reveal. Paintbrush there. Okay, I'm going to make a nice, big, soft, zero hardness paintbrush. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay, let's see it right now, and that took about 1 second. Okay, so there you go. Okay, so I'm just going to get out of this one, and now I'm going to do that, and let's see what else we have here. And I have one more shot here, and this is going to be going back to letting the ambient do the heavy lifting. Here is a straight out of camera shot. I'm at 1/40th of a second. Ambient shot is at 1/5 of a second. Okay, I'm mainly using the ambient shot. Well, let's see the flash shot here. Let's now make this the full bump, and I'm going to bring this down to someplace. Now, you got to understand, I'm kind of anal on my flash shots. I like my flash shots to be perfect, but you can take a flash shot and you can darken it by a full stop, 2 stops, brighten it up a stop, 2 stops. So you pretty much can recover any raw shot you've got. I always shoot in raw. So there I go. I've got just mainly for in here. And I've got a lot of issues. Like I put a 360 flash pointing straight up here behind. You can't really see it here. But I'm letting the ambient do the heavy lifting for back in there, the mirror, the ceiling, back in here. I could put a light in here and light that. And again, I'm going to caveat saying it would probably look better if I took the time, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to show you that letting the ambient, like here, do the heavy lifting. And the only thing I need to do here is I'm going to take a little bit more of the yellow out. So let's go ambient yellow out right there. That helped a little bit. I'm still going to take out a little bit of yellow. Okay? Now, we got to remember one thing. I don't talk about this a lot. If you're looking at the ambient shot alone, it's not going to make it for you. And then you look at the flash shot alone, you're like, oh, it's not going to make it. But you got to remember, we're only inducing part of what we're looking at in these individual shots. So you have to do it enough so you can really anticipate what you need. And I think you're going to get it after watching a few of these videos 10 times. So be my guest to watch them over and over again, and that's why I'm here to help you out. So I've got my ambient shot there, looks good. I've got some great exposure for in here, and that's fine. That's all I need. And I've got some nice window light here, and it's going to really help with the flash. So let's bring them into, I'm going to just show you, do it for you so you can see it. Open as layers in Photoshop. I've highlighted both those layers. And all you have to do is do an ambient shot and a flash shot. And usually you can pull it out from that. Or you can do the one light and just move around and pop a flash in the main room, pop a flash in the bathroom, in the middle room, in this hallway there, pop a flash over here, and you can mask them all in. There are a lot of people that do that technique, just not me. And I do that technique sometimes, but I really find I want to teach people, and I use this ambient to do the heavy lifting most of all. So I'm not going to auto-align my layers. You know, I'll do it just to show you again. Hammer it in there. You highlight both your layers, go into Edit, go into Auto-Align Layers, and again, when you do it 1,000,000 times, just go OK. 1,000,000 times, you will get it. OK, I'm going to highlight the ambient shot, which I know is on top, and there I'm going to hold down Option on a Mac, Alt on a PC, and add a layer mask. So now let's just real quickly, okay, let's just deal with the areas. There we go. Okay. Now, let's just really examine what we're doing here. Watch this. I'll buy that. Bring a little ambient in from this window so it makes it look a little more natural. By the way, I'd recommend making a bed up better than this, but I didn't have the time, the desire, and the agent didn't have the time. The agent got a ticket, a driving ticket on the way to the shoot. I felt so bad for him. Okay, there we go. Real quick. So we've got ambient all and back in here, and we've got flash here. Let's look at what it's like. Take out any of the ambient. And I'm selling the flash here because it's going to really sell the crispness and the colors here. And let's look at the ambient. See, these are actually a little better colors, but I'll be honest with you. I think that's pretty close in. And let me just go back to black and erase a little bit of this ambient. There we go. Right there. You can spend as little or as much time as you like on these shots. There we go. A little darker. Beautiful. Okay. There we go. I'm just going to discard that image, because I've already edited it. And I'm going to do one more shot. I'm going to take it out of here. And I just want to show you my sky replacement where, hold on a second, I got to go into, I shouldn't take this much time. All photographs. Let's go into here. And here it is. Okay. Here is, oh, by the way, you love it when they have a little teeny truck in here. This truck is like a 2-foot lift. So anyway, the agent's pulling it out, and here is the shot before the sky replacement. And you know what? It is okay, but all you have to do is add a sky replacement. And you know what? I think I didn't do a great job here because I got a little bit of sky up here and a little bit of sky on the roof here. I could have done a better job, but honestly, I'll be honest with you. I think I show, here's a little tip and a trick for you. I show my agents, I send them one sky replacement. I'm company of the sky replacement, but if you find value, because here's some of the other shots. We have just all these shots. And if you put sky replacements in these, it'll be like a night and day thing, as we see right here. So I hope this video tutorial helped you out to see a few things that you might not have noticed before. I'm sure this is kind of rudimentary for many of you out there, but for the people getting into this and trying to absorb and understand these concepts, like letting the ambient do the heavy lifting, I think that these things will help you, and then you can get better and further into it. And as always, I say, if you can put a light in there in a back room and light it up properly, it's going to look better and have better quality of light. And, so letting the ambient do the heavy lifting is kind of just a fallback, or it's a way of speeding up the process, because getting those lights all over the place does take time and expertise. And I found that a lot of times if you prep your ambient shot for the colors you need to mask it into the flash shot, I think you're going to have good success. I think your clients are going to be happy. And where it is not the best solution in the world, it's a great solution for me a lot of times when I just need to do what I need to do to make my day. So again, subscribe to the Rich Baum YouTube channel. I'd appreciate that. And check out all our videos. You can also check out shootingspacesspodcast.com, where we have every Tuesday we have a new episode of our podcast. We're the largest podcast on the internet for real estate photography. So we're really proud of that. Check out the workshops on May 13th and 14th in California. I do the coaching now, so contact me. Send me an email to Rich Baum if you need some help. And just in general, do the best you can, shoot better, shoot smarter, and you'll have more time, you'll make more money, your business will be more successful, and then you can do what you want. And a lot of this is, I specialize in my YouTube channel in day-to-day, in the trenches real estate photography. Sometimes it's not pretty, but it's what we do, and we've got to do the best we can in the time that we have it. So remember, we all eventually want to do something like design photography, or to do architectural photography. Well, this isn't really the YouTube channel for that. There are other YouTube channels and videos from great people like Mike Kelly and Scott Hargis, and just some really great tutorials out there. But this is for the day-to-day real estate stuff. And if my method is working for you, I appreciate it, and I'm really, really happy I've been able to help you. So leave a comment and I'll get back to you. I'll answer it for sure. So Rich with Rich Baum Photography saying thank you so much for checking out this video. We'll see you on the next tutorial.